Toast, listen, sit down and grab a seat. We have official confirmation that Daejhanae Jackson has been arrested in the United States. That's right, y'all. Daejhanae Jackson was placed in federal custody, waiting for her to begin her extradition process to Mexico. You guys, she has been arrested by Interpol agents after a control judge issued an arrest warrant against her for the crime of femicide in Shanquella Robinson's murder on October 29th in Cabo's Villas complex. As you know, Daejhanae was placed in federal custody, waiting for her to begin, and she is waiting to begin her extradition process in Mexico, where she will be formally accused of femicide. Woo! The extradition process took between 1 and 2 weeks, resulting from the procedure that the Attorney General's Office of Justice, shout out to Daniel De La Rosa, carried out in the Attorney General's Office of the Republic, and this in turn to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mexico. You guys, this is huge, but the case isn't over because guess what, you guys? The FBI is on it, and the Cabo6 are now the Cabo 5. We got one down. The FBI is coming for anybody that escapes any type of charges in Mexico. I have more on that. We have more on the 5,000. You guys, I had to bring you this breaking news, but stay for the rest of the video because I literally just finished filming a video when this came up. Aside from the fact that we now know who the arrest warrant is for, everything else about what's going to happen to them, how the FBI are going to, once they're done serving in Mexico, they're coming to the US and they could be tried again, how the FBI is looking at them doing that, and also Alyssa's Winter Donovan and the way they're hoping Daejhanae starts singing like a canary. Woo! Now, the Attorney General's Office of the state of Baja California Sur managed to prove that the woman who appears in the video attacking Shanquella Robinson is, in fact, Daejhanae Jackson. Woo! Listen, this is crazy. She's remaining in federal custody. She will be formally charged. You guys, listen, the reporter that broke this story, I'm having on my channel later on tonight or tomorrow morning. It depends how things go with the translation. Turn on your notifications. You guys, we have people directly involved in the investigation that's going to, but enough of that. Let's get into the rest of this and how things are going to develop for the Cabo 6. Actually, let's start calling them the Cabo 5 because the first has fallen. You guys, pay attention in the video. If you hear me say we don't know if it's Daejhanae, we have now just confirmed this is breaking. This is breaking. It literally hot off the presses. It is Daejhanae. She has been arrested. She's being deported as we speak. Now let's get into what's going to happen to the rest of them. All right, you guys, there are even more facts coming to light. We're going to go over those, but let's talk about the most important thing. Listen, everybody's been wondering, how come Mexico only issued a warrant for one person? We have an answer for that. We also have information on the jail they're actually going to be staying at. Baby, it's nothing nice. However, they might be able to bribe their way out of it. But do not worry, because it looks like the FBI is on the case. What am I talking about? No matter what happens to Daejhanae, Winter Donovan, Khalil Cook, Malik Driver, Alyssa Hyatt, no matter what happens to them in Mexico, and put Nasir Wiggins' name on that list because we have information about him. No matter what happens to them in Mexico, baby, when they're done, the FBI would like to have a word with them. That's right. The FBI has stated that double jeopardy does not apply to these people in any circumstances. What am I saying for? What am I saying? Just because you did that time in Mexico does not mean that counts in America. And not only that, baby, every crime that they did in Mexico that might not have been punishable, or maybe they didn't have enough evidence, baby, there's a law to prosecute them for that in America. We're going to also get into that. Also, we're going to talk about those rumors with that 5,000. Some said it was 6, some said it was 10, that was stolen from Shanquella. Yeah, baby, we got information on that to see where that number came up. And also, the way there are more crimes adding up for these people as we speak. Depending on where this 5,000 went, we're going to talk. Well, actually, it's a little bit, it's less than 5,000. I'm going to give you information. But baby, they are actually looking at robbery. They're looking at conspiracy to commit murder. They are looking at, hold on, there's more. They are looking at abandoning the body. They are also looking at recording without her permission, which will be an invasion of privacy. Baby, things are not looking good for them. Okay, Mexico is out to send a message. We're going to get into the details. They are staggering, but so is the US. Baby, we can't have people thinking you can just go overseas, take me to Bali, then push me off a cliff while I'm looking at the temples. There needs to be law and there needs to be order. Listen, we pay our tax dollars, and it's nice for it to actually be put into motion. So where do we want to start? From the top. Oh, also, you guys, I have a special guest, the man that blew this all open, We are going to have on this channel, answering every question that you guys have been wanting to know. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section. It looks like it is going to go up tomorrow. There's a lot of translation involved, and I want to give you something that is not only informative, but also interesting to watch. I mean, come on, it's YouTube. We all know how this works. We care, but the best people, you make people want to care more. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do right by Shanquella. We're going to do right by the video. You can expect for the video to be posted on Wednesday. Let me know if you have any questions you want me to ask, and we're also going to go live. So again, translator, please let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. Okay, fine. Let's get into this. But you guys know I like bringing you stuff direct from the source. It will be real time. Also, if anybody is fluent in Spanish, my translator actually does have COVID. That's why we're running behind. If anybody's fluent in Spanish, please hit me up in my Instagram DMs or in the comment section. Okay, fine. I'll get to work. That's enough housekeeping. All right, let's get into this. Now, first, let's start with what she is actually being charged with. There's homicide, which you can do between 12 and 20 years. I'm just bringing everybody up to speed. If you don't know these specifics, I'll be quick, but I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. However, there are aggregating factors. Aggregating factors are things that you can add to in addition, right? So an aggregated factor could be you walked home, right? Put it like this, your day, what was it? It was bad. Why? Because I walked home. How was that bad? Well, there was an aggregating factor. It was raining. Oh, okay, that does make you walking home a little bad. But why was it bad? Well, there's something else. In addition to it raining, I didn't have an umbrella, right? And in addition to it raining, not having an umbrella, I just got a fresh silk press, or I just got a bad little lace front freshly installed. What? Yeah. And on top of that, I was walking because I had a photo shoot and I thought it'd be quicker than taking Uber. Ooh, now that you think about it, that is a bad day. Aggregating factors are things that you add to the existing fact that not only make the crime worse, but it makes the punishment even more harsh, because it's like, wow, you did A, and on top of that, so you guys murked somebody, and on top of that, you guys taped it. And on top of that, you guys all kept quiet. And on top of that, there was an invasion of privacy. And on top of that, it was particularly violent. Yeah, okay. That's what they're looking at. So with the aggregated factors, they're looking at femicide. Homicide is between 12 and 20 years. However, femicide, which is a violent act against women, usually it's DV, usually it's the R word, right? However, there is a clause in that statute. Please go watch my old my videos where I go into detail on the statutes if you're interested in the legal perspective. That actually says if you are an acquaintance or a colleague, or you are trying to foster feelings of friendship, enjoyment, just some type of camaraderie, and a woman is violently murdered, that also counts under the femicide statute. What does that mean? The femicide statute says it is between 40 and 60 years. However, in 2000, I believe it was 18, they literally passed, or I'm sorry, 2019, they passed an update on the femicide law, adding 5 years to the minimum and maximum. It is now 45 to 65 years, okay? Now, the investigators and people that are close to the source are positive that whoever's name is on that arrest warrant, is not getting off, There is too much information. They have too much forensic information. There's just too much. They're not getting off. Now, what are their hopes? We'll talk about that, because they could have a plea deal, which explains why there's only one name on the warrant. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get into this, right? So there's the femicide. There's also, right, they fled the country. When you knowingly commit a crime, right, they work on the honor system. You are supposed to turn yourself in, but instead you left the country. That is a crime in Mexico. You abandon the body. When you kill someone and you knowingly kill someone and you abandon the body, that is a crime in Mexico. And because they recorded it, being the sickos, right? And I do agree with some people that's like, why do I feel like when we find out why they did this, it's going to be some dumb reason where it's like, are you kidding me? You took a human life. You took a baby, gorgeous, beautiful, talented. Everybody said she was a light, 25 years old. You extinguished that light over this dumb stuff. I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be something dumb and nonsensical. Anyway, they recorded it, and it is also considered an invasion of privacy. Now, right? Let's talk about the way the FBI said, guess what? I got something for you, ASS. What am I talking about? Okay, there is something called double jeopardy, which means that you cannot be tried for for murder or for a capital crime more than once, right? So you go up for murder, you get found not guilty. Oh, well, right? OJ can show you, right? He was out. Doesn't matter if he was guilty or not. You only get one bite at the apple. The bite wasn't deep enough. He got let free. You cannot be brought up on charges for that capital crime, and you cannot be brought up for any lesser charges either. So let's just say you take a bite at the apple and they're like, not guilty. And then you're like, well, hold on, I want attempted murder. Too late. You should have tried attempted murder. Well, hold on. They robbed them too. Let's bring them up for robbery and make sure that they pay. Too late. You already got the bite at the apple. You only brought them up on murder charges. You should have brought up all these other charges because they were all connected to the same thing, right? Assuming all these charges are connected to the same crime. You bought them all up. You should have tried them all at once because they were all related to the same incident. They all had a common nexus. Now that you did not, you don't get another bite at the apple. Too bad. It has been a hallmark of the American penal system, and something that back then was a beacon around the world, because a lot of times they would bring you up on something, then they'd be like, oh, hold on, what about this? What about this? What about this? And before you know it, they're just throwing stuff against the wall, and you're in court all the time until something sticks. However, that does not apply when you are tried in a foreign government. Double jeopardy is when an American citizen commits a crime against an American citizen, and they are tried in an American court. Okay, and it has to be a capital crime. It can't be like you defame me, defamation. Can't be anything like that. It has to be a capital crime, such as the one we're talking about here, which is murder. So keep that in mind. What do we have? Let's apply the facts we have to the law. We have an American citizen. We have 6 of them, actually, right? We have an American citizen. The crime was committed against Shanquella Robinson. May she rest in power. Okay. However, even if Mexico convicts them, guess what? When they're done serving their time in Mexico, they can come to America, and America can bring them up on charges too. Moreover, and when they're brought up on charges, right? Let's just say they get life in prison. They might have a good lawyer that's just like, Your Honor, they already served like 50 years in a Mexican prison. If they make it that far, we'll talk about that later. We got some information on that prison. If they make it comply, Your Honor, it's 50 years. Like, can we please just get time served? The judge will still be like, fine, I'll give you time served. Maybe if the judge is feeling them, right? I'll give you time served in the Mexico prison, but you're still doing life. Life is how much? I think 60 to 80 years. So you're still doing 20 more years in American prison. And some states, life actually means life, okay? Now, again, that is for the person that dealt the final blow, okay? That is for the person that dealt the final blow. That is the person that Mexico has on the warrant saying you are the direct cause of her death. However, why Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to the FBI. There are other charges. Conspiracy to commit murder. Now, listen, a lot of people think conspiracy has to be like, oh, we've been planning this for months and do this and do that. No, 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 no. Conspiracy to commit murder could literally be us looking at each other and be like, let's go do this. You ready? Yeah, let's do this. And if it results, right? You had a conspiracy that resulted in the death. It can come back as conspiracy to commit murder. You do not need to conspire for weeks. It can be 5 minutes. It can be a minute before. What do you need for conspiracy to go most times? You need an overt act after you agree to participate in the conspiracy. So, for instance, let's just say I'm like, yo, mom just made some cookies and they stay warm. Here's what you do. Go see what mom and dad doing. Say you need help with like your homework. Me and so are going to go to the kitchen. We're going to get some cookies. How many cookies you want? All right, bet. Okay, so then just give us like 30 minutes and meet us up in the room. Well, what are we going to do? Listen, we'll say the dog ate the cookies. Who cares? Just go, 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 right? Let's just say you say, all right, I'm going to go. And you start walking toward where your parents are. And halfway there, you say, wait a second, this is wrong. I don't want to eat mom's cookies, right? And you turn around, right? And the cookies are already gone. Even though you said, oh, I don't want any of the cookies, the fact that you walked toward the living room, even though you turned around and said, no, I don't want to steal the cookies, that is enough to tag you for conspiracy. Because what do you need? You need the agreement that you guys are going to do something illegal. Let's just act like eating cookies is illegal, right? Or stealing the cookies from your parents are illegal, right? But you also need an overt act, Sometimes it can be a second follow-up call. Yo, we still doing this? All right. Sometimes it can be something as simple as, you're like, yo, meet me. We're going to do this. All right. Meet me at 3:00 at this place. And you show up at that place. Sometimes it can be as simple as you just walking toward the living room to distract your parents and then deciding you want. That's enough to tag you in conspiracy, an overt act. But get this, especially with criminal conspiracies, this goes if they're tried in America for conspiracy to either commit murder or conspiracy to cover up the murder, right? Let's just say that you're just like, wait, the parents are handing out spankings. Just go with me for this analogy. It'll work. Let's just say your parents are handing out spankings and you're just like, wait, it wasn't me. They told me to distract you, but I said, no, I'm not. I turned around and said, no, I'm not doing it. But the cookies were already stolen. Do you know that in most states in America, when it comes to conspiracy to commit murder or conspiracy to whatever, the conspiracy is not over until you formally go to some type of law enforcement and confess everything that happens, and you help them try to stop. That is when the conspiracy is over. Up until then, anything that happens with the conspiracy, you are held accountable along with everybody in that conspiracy. So what would that look like when they would say, okay, fine, we're not going to get you in conspiracy. Let's just apply this to Shanquella, right? Quila. Thank you. I apologize. Shanquella. Okay, let's do this. Let's just say, because you don't need a lot of time, that they looked at Shanquella was like happy, living her best life, being like, you guys, wake up, let's go to the pool. And let's just say, winner, Daejhanae, Alyssa, Khalil, Malik, all of them were like, yo, let's do it, right? Whatever those cycles were thinking. And let's just say, Alyssa, because everybody's saying, no, there's reports that Alyssa Hyatt jumped it, ran in front of the camera and tried to stop Daejhanae. Okay. But here's the thing. Let's just say they all agree, yeah, let's get her. Boom, there's an overt act. Now let's just say somebody did jump in and try to stop it. Unfortunately, she lost her life. And then the police come and everybody stay quiet. They give their statements. They just sit there. They know it's lying, this and that. They're under investigation. They're like, what do you know? What do you know? They're not saying anything. They go back. They all try to conceal it. Let's just say that Alyssa, or whoever it was that stopped the fight, or it's rumored to stop the fight, literally says, wait, I shouldn't be persecuted with them because I wasn't part of this conspiracy. They planned it. They wanted to cover up. I wasn't part of this. The police or the authorities and the FBI will look at her and be like, no. Only when you come to law enforcement and confess and give them information so they can try to stop this conspiracy. So everything that's happened up to this point, you are equally guilty for. Because even though you might have privately denounced it, I'm not doing this, or this isn't me, or I'm not going to be a part of it, right? You still were in it. You did an overt act to seal up the thing that you are officially a co-conspirator, and you did not make a reasonable attempt. You did not make a reasonable attempt to mitigate a conspiracy that you helped either get in motion or you helped actually happen. Again, this is great news. The FBI is going to pursue charges on the Cabo6. We are waiting to see what the parents' private autopsy says. That is secret, but this is great news that the FBI, they're not home free. Whatever happens in Mexico, whoever gets convicted in Mexico, it has nothing to do at all. Well, what's going to happen on the U.S. soil? And baby, the FBI is waiting in the lurch. The family's private autopsy. By the way, the family does have a GoFundMe. Please, if you have any time, and even if you can't afford, if you can share it with somebody that they can afford it. I donated a lot to there, okay? Everybody I know has. Again, if you don't have it, fine. But please, if you can share it on your social medias, if you can ask people that can afford even $1, even $5, anything makes a difference. The family has a big fight. They have to get lawyers. They have to get private lawyers. They might even have to get private investigators if the investigation is not done or not. I did a whole video. Please watch the playlist if you like the way I'm giving this information. I did a whole video on what they would need the cost for the GoFundMe. It wasn't just for the funeral. And as much as people are saying, 500,000 is enough, 300,000 is enough, I'm not giving it. It's not enough. It's not enough. Go look at how much these things cost. It's not enough. They need so much more. Now, that we have that, right? That we have that. Let's talk about the warrant. Why was it only issued for one person? Well, for a simple reason, because they're hoping that she schools on everyone else. So in Mexico, apparently, it's not necessarily a plea deal, but they will give you a lenient sentence if you give up tapes, if you squill. And I hope she squeals. Like, now she might, because here's the thing. When she gets extradited, whoever this person's name on the warrant is, when they get extradited, and nobody knows who the name is. It's either Winter Donovan, Alyssa, or Daejhanae, okay? But nobody knows for certain. The name has not been released. Nobody has been arrested, and nobody is even detained yet. Okay. So when she is back on Spanish soil, Mexican soil, they will meet them at the border. They will take her. She will be placed in a Mexican jail until it is time for her trial. Like I mentioned before, trials in Mexico are much different than America in the fact that everything's written. You don't get a Johnny Cochran, you don't get a Matthew McConaughey To Kill a Mockingbird, doing all this stuff. Your lawyer literally writes the arguments in legal papers. The other side does too. The testimony, the evidence, all that stuff is written. Very rarely does anybody get to testify. And everybody that has boots on the ground, including my special guest that I'm going to have on the show, make sure you set a reminder, turn your notifications on. Okay, it's going to be up by tomorrow, I promise. Maybe even tonight, but definitely tomorrow. As soon as that, while she's going to be in La Paz, which is the Cabo San Lucas area. It is a prison that is, most of the people in there are organized crime. She will 100%, whoever that is, be extorted to stay alive, okay? It is no joke in that prison. And I don't even need to say this lightly. And I would almost feel sorry for whoever this is, except for, baby, nobody told you to go and beat someone to death and leave them for dead and then come back and lie to the parents. At any step of the way, anybody could have admitted their fault. Anybody could have ratted out the rest, but everybody's being quiet. I find it hard to believe that everybody's being quiet to protect one person. That could be the case. I think everybody's being quiet because everybody had a part to play. You know what they say, right? You know what they say, it's thick as thieves, as thick as thieves. Everybody had a role to play in, and nobody wants to actually be the person that's held accountable, not only for their own deeds, but for everybody else's. Anyway, she's going to be in a hardcore prison. Okay. If she does want to give up tapes, let people know, was there a conspiracy? What was going on? Why the investigation is still going? She can get a reduced sentence. But the thing is, the reduced sentence is only down to the minimum. So unlike in America, where you're looking at, I don't know, 40 to 60 years, and you might, with the right lawyer, like plea deal, this and that, they give you 23 years. No. In Mexico, you get the minimum, which means if the minimum you can get is 40 years, then you'll get 40. And that's if you do a plea deal. We'll see, right? We'll see. Now, just a little bit on the timeline, because I've seen a lot of misinformation. I just want to take you guys through this really, really quick, and then we can go. You guys, the 5,000 everybody said was stolen. The parents saw on her debit card or credit card that there was a $5,000 charge. That was for the Airbnb. However, one of the things that the cops are saying that money was stolen from her is when they checked out, it was an Airbnb. When they checked out, they refunded half of the money to these people. They refunded half of the money to these people. According to the parents and according to people involved, again, we'll get more clarification in my upfront interview, because the Attorney General has released new information, and we're going to get, they promised me that it's going to be a bombshell. So, you know, they're here for it. The authorities want to know where that money went. They also find it highly unusual that the Los Cabos villas actually, the Cabos villas actually refunded the money. Actually, now again, it could be because there was a dead body and the friends and all this other stuff, but it's just weird. Also, last but not least, Nasir Wiggins, baby, according to the people directly involved in the investigation, and we're going to actually have them on the channel, Nasir Wiggins, there is no way anyone could look at Shanquella and not know she had not been brutally assaulted. Nasir Wiggins' alibi, his alibi for why he did what, hoo-ha, to whom, completely falls apart. It completely falls apart. There's just no way. So, as we know, somebody was FaceTiming during the fight, or they FaceTiming Nasir. Winter Donovan was the one that actually called 911, but she didn't call it at 3 o'clock. She called 911 at about 5 o'clock or 5:37, that time zone. So again, it's looking like a conspiracy. It's looking like they were all in on it. It's looking like the people that could have saved their butts and opened their mouths and said something and done the right thing and gotten justice for that poor woman. It looks like everybody's going down, because now it's conspiracy to murder. However, I will stick by, and this is just my speculation. I'm going to put this, it's my speculation, quote signs. I honestly do believe that the reason why nobody's come forward and said anything, and I know everybody wants Alyssa Hyatt to be this hero that stopped, but like I said, heroes don't stay quiet, get on a plane and just stay quiet. Heroes wouldn't do that. And let's also not forget that even if she was scared, she could have got off the plane immediately and gone to the police station the next day and been protected, or flown across. Listen, she could have been protected. She's staying quiet for a reason. I believe they're all staying quiet for a reason. And I think that reason is if they open their mouths, they're going to be the ones in trouble. Last but not least, this is the official timeline that investigators are going with. And we're going to have somebody on the channel either tonight or tomorrow to confirm it, right? There was a fight. Someone on the tape did try to stop the aggressor. They come in from the back room, right? They jump in front of the camera. The camera, because they're bloodthirsty, which is either Malik or Khalil, it turns to the right so that person is out of the frame, right? There's a smaller fight after that, okay? There's a smaller fight that erupted after that. There are people arguing. You see Shanquella's body convulsing, okay? She was dead at 2:45. She called, the coroner says 3 o'clock. This also says Nasir Wiggins, so you were there. How did they get her dressed? How did they get her in the game room? How did they get her anywhere? There was not even time to even call the maid, okay? Again, she convulsed. Also, if they had to get her dressed, most people know that when especially with that, there's sphincter relaxation. There's 4 sphincters in the body, 1 in the esophagus leading to the stomach, 1 in the anus, of course, and 2 other places that I can't quite recall. Most people relieve themselves when they transition to heaven. They relieve themselves. How did you get that person dressed? How did this all happen? How? By the time that the doctor was saying that she was working on her, rigor mortis was already setting in. Again, the doctor, the police, the 2 police, and the officials that granted safe passage back to the U.S., they are all under investigation, and charges look like they're going to be filed against them. Again, that arrest warrant is the key. The police and the Red Cross came. The doctor gave a general explanation. The doctor said she received a call around 2:30 in the afternoon. Funny thing, the autopsy has her dying approximately 3 p.m. I'm sorry, 2:45 is when she had the convulsion. If she received a call at 2:30, it's very close by 15 minutes. It's 30 minutes. It looks like that the autopsy is right there. That means when the doctor got there, the Mexico authorities are saying that she was dead. She was dead. Anyway, you guys, a lot of things going on. Know that the FBI is on it. Know that no matter what happens to them in Mexico, the FBI is waiting for them. You guys, it looks like justice is going to be served. Don't forget, I have a special guest coming on. Please turn your notifications on, or at the very least, if you don't want to, set a reminder in your head. You guys, we're getting somebody. We're working out things with the translator, but it's going to be good. It's going to be informative, and it's going to be something that really makes you want to listen and learn more. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Again, hug the ones you love. Justice is coming, and just know that there's a lot of evil in the world, but thank God there's more people trying to do good. Anyway, my little Tattle Tells, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.